My pimp is so particular, deny a bitch quick behind them extracurriculars. Shit, I'ma respect yours, you got to respect mine. You get left behind, you fuck around and neglect mine. Shit, I will never be that cat for hoes. Simp niggas turn into a doormat for hoes. I mean, I'ma shoot my shot, but bitch, I will die before you get a pimp to squat and piss. Let's go.
Bitch, you want all this pimpin' you can't afford. Perform like a punk, but want a winner's reward. Some suckers give you points, but bitch, you never scored. If you ain't paying pimpin', then bitch, you getting ignored. Okay, I'm so sick of these.
I have always been the type of pimp who ain't never had a problem cutting a bitch off or denying a bitch, right? And I've received a lot of criticism over the years among my peers about this type of shit, right? But just certain shit I just can't go for, I can't allow. Now, disclaimer. I don't want anybody to think that I'm just one of these, dudes that think I'm too good for bitches, or, I just be looking, like I got a checklist, and as soon as a bitch, don't meet one of the requirements on the checklist, I'm just quick to cut a bitch off and all that type of shit. Nah, Freeze ain't one of them type of dudes, but at the same time, when bitches do certain shit, Pimp ain't got no problem cutting their ass off. Now, the first thing, man, that certain bitches have done that just rub my pimp in the wrong way, literally, is rub my motherfucking waves. You see these waves, man? You see these waves? Do you see them? You know what I mean? I put a whole lot of work in to get these motherfucking waves, right? And when a bitch will have the audacity to take her hand and stroke these motherfuckers against the grain, yeah, that's rubbing my pimp in the wrong way, man. So it done been several times, unfortunately, that I've had to deny a bitch access to my pimping, man, behind rubbing my motherfucking waves the wrong way, man. Now normally when this type of thing happens, it tends to be, ethnicities outside of, the melanated sisters, bitches who don't have this type of hair, and not only that, don't understand, from a black person's perspective. You dig? Now, I've had Latinas do it, I've had white girls do it, but make a mental note of this shit. Whatever ethnicity you are, even if you black, don't never ever stroke a man's waves against the motherfucking grain. If he a motherfucker like me that's serious about his waves, that's like one of the easiest ways to get your ass denied, right? Now, you gotta look at it from a man's perspective. Imagine, you spend hours, however long it take to get your makeup right and all that shit, you know what I mean? You done did your eyebrows and your lashes and your foundation and mascara and all that other shit, right? You took all this time to get that shit together. Then a motherfucker come up and be like, oh, your face is so beautiful, and get to touching all on your motherfucking face and shit. You gonna look at a motherfucker crazy, right? Well, that's the same way a pimp gonna look at your motherfucking ass for rubbing his waves against the grain. Pimp really don't want you touching his waves at all, but if you do, at least touch them up or stroke them with the grain, the direction that you see that the hair was brushed in, at least stroke them with that, you know what I mean? But really, you shouldn't stroke a pimp's waves at all. But the next thing, man, this is an easy way for a bitch to get denied some pimping. Touching a pimp on the ass, or touching a man on the ass. You know what I mean? That shit just ain't fly. It's not manly. It's not masculine, and it's not something that any pimp wants to partake in. At least me speaking for myself. My pimping, I'm not indulging in no shit like that. And my ass just ain't got nothing to do with your hands. You're nowhere on your body. Just don't touch my ass. You know what I mean? Don't try to smack a pimp on the ass. Don't try to squeeze a pimp's ass. Don't try to pinch a pimp's ass. I don't give a fuck if we having sex or whatever the case may be, or if you just walk past me in the kitchen and do that. Forget about that. You shouldn't even want to do that. You know what I mean? The real man, well, me speaking for myself, man. To each their own. I'll speak for myself on this one. Freeze is not gonna go for no bitch touching him on the ass at all. You know what I mean? So just let that be a note to self. Don't never ever touch a pimp on the motherfucking ass. You dig? Another thing that's gonna quickly get a bitch denied my pimping is firing up a cigarette or firing up a blunt in my vehicle or in my domain where I'm laying my head at. Especially if you pay attention and you know that I'm a motherfucker that does not smoke. Why in the fuck with your selfish, inconsiderate ass fire up a blunt or fire up a cigarette in my shit. You know what I mean? Like me, I like, especially, you know, because when you come around me, shit gonna smell good. When you walk into the crib, you know, I got the scented wax burners going on, you know what I mean? So the crib gonna smell motherfucking good. When you come into a pimp's car, the car gonna smell good. I'm gonna smell good. You know, my clothes don't smell like no motherfucking weed. My clothes don't smell like no motherfucking tobacco. So naturally, you should want to respect a pimp's flyness and respect a pimp's smells and don't want to clash with that motherfucking shit. But when a bitch does that, just let it's just a terrible sign of things to come. You know, if a bitch could do that, especially out the gate, you know, this is my first impression of her, it's a sign of bad things to come. You know what I mean? So, you know, pimp gonna cut her off. You know, like the fat on my chicken breast. When I'm cooking my motherfucking chicken breast, you know, she gonna get cut the fuck off, right? Another thing, man, and this is just something that just like really turns my stomach, you know, because I got so much love for my mother and my aunties and my grandmother, rest in peace, you know. I just got so much love for, you know, the women that had a hand in raising me, but especially my mother, right? And one thing I can't stand is for a bitch to talk bad to her mother like she's a motherfucker in the streets. You dig? It'd have been situations where I'll be with a bitch and, you know, we'll get around her mother and she just talking crazy. She's just talking to her mama like a nigga in the streets. And see, me, I'm not the type of motherfucker that's just gonna stand there and listen to this shit or watch this shit go down, right? Because I don't even know your mama like that. But because she's your mother, I still got respect for her. So it's like, damn, bitch, I can't be having more respect for your mama than you. This is the woman that birthed you into the world. You dig? So I'm the type of motherfucker that's gonna pump the brakes on that. And if you a bitch that's fucking with me, you're gonna have to immediately pump the brakes on that. But when I'm telling you, like, hey, you know, tone that shit, like, pump the brakes on that, like, cut that out. You're not finna be disrespecting your mama in front of me, talking to her like that, and then you just insist on continuing with the bullshit. You know what I mean? If you don't respect your mama, then it's gonna be hard for me to believe that you're gonna respect me. And, you know, certain individuals that I have in mind that have done this type of shit, and, you know, as time went on, it was revealed that the bitch didn't respect me neither, and it really didn't even respect her motherfucking self too. You dig? So bitches disrespecting their mama, and, you know, also a combination of that and, you know, either disrespecting or neglecting their children. You know, that's another way a bitch gonna get cut off. You know what I mean? That's a combination. It's kind of like one and the same. Bitches who disrespect their mama also disrespect and neglect their kids. And I don't know how a bitch can carry a child for 9 months, push that child out their womb, or even if they had a C-section, whatever the case may be. You birthed this child, and then you just like, you go weeks and months where you don't want to check in with this kid. Like, you don't even think about what this kid is doing every day. Like, I didn't even I didn't carry mine for no, you know, I'm a man, shit, but I still, you know, I don't be going no weeks and months and all that old type of shit without checking on mine. You know, I love them kids to death. So for a woman to do that type of shit, it really lets you know that she's like detached in a way where, you know, for me, it's gonna be hard for me to believe that she's gonna care for somebody like myself like that when she don't really care for these kids like that, you know. So that's a quick way to get cut off by a pimp. And lastly, this is a big one, and a lot of you simp ass niggas will allow this type of shit and go for this type of shit and be like, baby, you tripping. But me, I'm gonna be like, baby, I'm dipping. I'm out of there, you know what I mean? But talking bad about my partner, to me, like, this is my partner, somebody that I'm tight with, that I'm cool with. Bitch, you done seen us, you know, together a million times, and you just gonna talk bad about this man to me, and I'm just supposed to like go for the shit because you're a bitch, because you have a pussy, because you trying to give some money or whatever the fuck it is that you offering. Like, bitch, I'm not, nah. You know what I mean? I remember a particular time, this bitch that was on my line, you know, conversation was going good. She was acting like she wanted to fuck with me, but then the bitch had, she got in my inbox one day on Facebook and was like, your friend is a disrespectful piece of shit. He's a clown. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, bitch, forget I existed. La 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 la. You know what I mean? Like, deuces, you know? Like, I can't believe the bitch had the audacity to come to me. Like, okay, if you feel that way, bitch, keep that to yourself. But why would you come to me when you know me and this guy we tight? You know what I mean? Bitch came to me and said, this motherfucker was a piece of shit and a clown. What do you think? Okay, like, bitches don't be thinking. They get so overwhelmed by their emotions that they don't even think. Like, think. You like me because I'm a man with integrity and dignity. And, you know, I'm not no sucker. Like, these are the reasons that you dig me, right? Why in the fuck would you think that you could come to me and talk about my partner in a derogatory way? And, like, what did you think was gonna be the result of that? You think we just gonna continue to be cool? Hell motherfucking no. Deuces, bitch. But the bottom line, you know what I mean? All this shit boils down to respect. Respect for yourself and respect for the pimping. If you got respect for yourself and respect for the pimping, you ain't gonna have no problems, you dig? Let that marinate on your mind one time. Freezes it. Put some of this good old love juice in your body, like so. Man, I love this love shit. I holla.
Now come and take a sip of this game. Pour it down your ear and let it drip to your brain so you can run it up, run it up. And we'll be coming up, really coming up. Take a sip of this game, let it saturate your brain. Taylor, make your homework so we can match it with my name. Then attach it to your frame, right? Now you game tight. Ready, set, ho. You gon' check her back the same night. Now you breaking tricks and handling thousands. While these bitches on the blade doing the mannequin challenge. Standing there looking stupid cause they has no game to hit a trick with, bitch, and that's so lame. Now come and take a sip of